Why y'all hate Chris Brown so much, man?
What is that?
Y'all hate this dude so much. Y'all don't want this dude to be.
How is it that we
matter
can
of fact,
deny?
Matter of fact, we need to have like a viral rant moment at the very end of this podcast, bro. So we can rant about stuff that we be pissed off about. Like one, I don't really care about Jay-Z and Beyonce, and I don't understand why y'all so infatuated with these two people. I just don't get it. They have no personal connection to your life or your well-being or anything that happens to do with you. So who cares? Second, why do y'all hate Chris Brown so much, man? Why? I mean, I get that he had an altercation with Rihanna.
Yeah.
There was an abuse thing that happened.
A lot of people love Rihanna.
And a lot of people love Rihanna. Y'all hate Chris? Yeah. Everybody hate Chris? But, I mean, who had more allegations, Michael or Chris Brown?
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
You just said something right there. Now, that's a bar in itself. That's a bar in itself.
I'm always interested in people's podcast setups and what they.
Yeah, see, a lot of people use a couch.
Yeah, like they
I
use.
feel like Budden's got one of them. Budden's got a
Buns.
Budden.
Oh, Budden.
Joe Budden.
Buns.
Oh,
yeah, Budden.
Joe Buns.
Joe Buns.
Joe Budden has a.
Yeah, he has a couch.
Yeah, he got that rooms to go. Haverty special,
exactly.
L-shaped Joan.
Hey, I get that too.
And I watch Horrible Decisions, or I'm sorry, it's not Horrible Decisions anymore. Now it's Decisions, which is on Charlemagne's platform. And they do a couch and 2 chairs.
Mm-hmm. We had a couch.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm saying you on brand in terms of our setup is pretty much which, you know, I'm sure they work and they produce her to death, but Joe and Jada got a full-size couch, super crazy long couch, and then chairs on each end.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if the chairs match, to be honest. I ain't never paid it no attention.
I'm like, how many guests are you planning on having? You got a big...
Yeah. Well, that's what I say about Joe Budden's setup is...
They making sure.
I mean, he could seat, and they be, I mean, hella slouched. I mean, Joe almost be laying down.
He do at times. He'd be like...
Yeah, when he cross his legs, he got his leg crossed, paws, and
I'd be like, yo.
Way down in the Joan. So...
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm like. I'll be looking at everybody's setup like, okay, let me see what they got.
Yeah.
And every time I look at their setup, then I look at this setup and I go, this setup is still dope, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably doper than some of that setup.
It is.
Except, you know, they got, like Joe and Jada got the whole video wall thing. I think Joe Budden is in like some type of...
he's in a building.
He's in a building, like an office building. Yeah. Ray and them in the office, like Ray Daniels and them are in an office
they're in an office building. There's that's very obvious in a setup. It's not really,
especially when the person came in and bomb rushed in there. But they're like in an office complex.
Yeah, they probably they've got great content, but the least aesthetically pleasing setup probably right now.
Yeah,
content is dope.
And that's the crazy thing. I know they ain't, you know, but I think that's the thing is that. Okay, I'm gonna get on my jealousy thing here in a moment. It's not really what it is, but you know, I think I posted it on Instagram. It's like a lot of these podcasts blow up because it's famous people doing the podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's famous people doing it. So it's easy. It's easy for them to, you know, have a wider audience. Maybe not. I've seen some dudes who were nobodies, but they be talking about some crazy stuff though. Crazy stuff. I'll be like, yo, like you don't care what y'all talk about on y'all podcast. It'd be crazy. But anyway, I think our setup is very comparable.
Setup is dope.
Setup is dope.
But even in terms of the celebrity podcast moment, like let's not construe it. Your content can be amazing, but if your promotion and your marketing is not where it needs to be, then that's what separates some from others. There's a lot of people, a lot of famous people who have pods that don't do well because they think that just because they're celebrities that the pods are gonna do well.
I need to know who that is.
And they don't. And especially athletes. It's a lot of
I need to find them.
Football players, basketball players with pods that got minimoski
Really?
subscriptionship because you think about it. Think about it. Let's think about this here. We know how this works. If you tomorrow started a pod and you, let's say, and I'm about to slight somebody, but that's just how life works. Sorry. Let's say, and I'm gonna pick somebody who's like in the middle somewhere, which means like they're not super well known, but they're well known enough. Let's just say Carrie Hilson. Oh, because what you call it was on a podcast, but that don't count. Let's just say Bridget Kelly. Let's just say Carrie Hilson starts a podcast tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But if she don't promote that podcast, she'll have.
I mean, she's gonna promote.
She's gonna have 8,000 subscribers.
But she's gonna have the ability to have a team of people.
But that's
and to promote.
But why does she have that ability?
Because she got a financial
so
ability to be able to do that, and she
anybody
has a name.
Anybody who has the money,
that's true.
And if the content is good enough, and you can allocate funding to the right priorities, you too can have a successful podcast. Point blank. Period.
Because
it's about exposure and about having the money that creates some of that exposure.
That's true.
It's hyper scaling your marketing. Like you can just shoot the content and that's cool, and it can be good content, and it'll be you and 46 other people enjoying the hell out of that content.
They be like, it's the best content for them 46 people.
Yeah, or you know, for example, I work very closely with the talent agency, and we work with creators who are doing everything from directing to producing to writing films, television series, everything, right? So I had somebody say the other day, our budget is X amount of dollars, right? And so we are looking to utilize that money to produce this content. And they were basically allotting a third of that budget to promotion. Many times people will say, oh, if you give me $100,000, I have $100,000 to shoot my film. But this person was, obviously seasoned enough to understand what needed to be prioritized. I've been part of scenarios and deals where people literally were like, I just want to get it shot at a high level. I'm going to spend every dime I have to get it shot, and then I'll worry about the marketing afterwards.
Yeah, that's the wrong approach.
That didn't pan out well. The content does have the opportunity to still rise to the top, but it took them probably another year to get that content, to get the exposure that it literally could have gotten in 30 days if they had allotted funding for that. So no, we'll never be Joe and Jada, but the reality
I don't know. Let me win this lottery though.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm saying personality wise or celebrity wise, they have done what they have done, and they deserve to be seen as they are seen.
That's right.
However, from a perspective of content, we too provide great content, and if we could expose it to the number of people who know who Joe is and the number of people who know who Jada is, and if we had, the sponsorships that would help to push it to the forefront,
that's right,
then why not us?
And
why not anybody?
True.
Right? Who is interested in putting their content out there. Right. You have to plan to market.
The beauty of it is that we're going to be accepting sponsorships and looking for sponsorships here very, 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 very soon. So if you want to be a sponsor of the Indie Unplugged, We Create Music TV, all of the programs that we do, you're going to have that ability and that shot to be able to do that. I mean, you're right, because we have great content. We talk about things that are very specific to the indies. We talk about things that independents are able to use and to capitalize on for the things that they do. And so why not us? Why not a platform that is catered directly to the independents to help give them the tools and resources, knowledge they need to be successful?
Yeah, once because I haven't seen it. Maybe it's out there, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen a podcast that's really pulling in adjacent sponsorships. Once somebody figures it out on a larger level.
What you mean adjacent sponsorships?
So for example, we should be sponsored by whoever makes these mics. We should be sponsored by whoever makes these headphones.
That's right.
Then in turn, because we are an independent platform for those artists, why not be sponsored by organizations that support the independent within the music? Because well,
that is the goal.
The money is made on radio from advertising. That's how they make their money. And the reason they're able to make that money is because people see the value in placing their products on the radio. Well, the podcast market is established, clearly. So it doesn't, a liquor brand is not the only means to a sponsorship. You have to find your Ciroc or your Amsterdam or there's other things that think about, being able to say, these lighting rigs are provided by Wooty Woo. Wooty Woo is the best woo 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 for your home setup.
That's right.
Go right now to the website, dom. How does that not make and we're found on our content is found on the internet, it's found on YouTube. That makes immediate sense. You know what I'm saying? You can go to the link below and go ahead and use our product code, save 10% off right now on your podcast starter kit.
If he find I'm gonna send that email. Because look, no, I mean you're right though. It's because I remember one of the segments, somebody made a comment and was like, "Yo, this is the first podcast I ever seen use Fifon mics." I'm like, they sound good, they're inexpensive, they look good. Yeah, it's not a Shure SMB 57 microphone, which is like $399, $499, something like that per microphone. But do they sound great? Do they do the job? Are they connected to the right system to be able to sound the way that they're supposed to for the pod? They absolutely do.
And if Fifon understands the value of being seen on a podcast that they know looks good, sounds good, and is really about all things sound related, then they would see the value in sponsoring us so that we can promote their product.
That's right. Look, trust me, we use them every day. We got these headphones, we use them every day.
Yeah.
Or, every time.
That's what I mean by these things are the adjacent to what we're actually doing. We're literally, whether we know it or not, somebody has done a freeze frame to figure out what kind of headphones you got, what kind of mic you got, what kind of arm you're using. Someone's done it.
Someone's done it. So, because I know I've done it. When I go look at people's setups, I've done it. Well, what's this they're using here?
So there's an opportunity there. There's an opportunity for those pods and those people using that equipment. I mean, it probably won't be long, and there probably are a few, I'm sure. But you listen to the radio and you hear 55 million lawyer ads. It's a ton of lawyer ads. You know why there's a ton of lawyer ads? Because they're talking about car accidents, car wrecks.
And especially in Atlanta.
And guess where you are 80% of the time that you're listening to the radio? You're in the car. So if we're on a pod talking about headphones, lighting, gear, control boards, we are in the place where those things are the things that are being used. And everybody wants to know what your setup is.
They do. Everybody wants to know because everybody's looking at everybody's setup. What are they using? You know, I haven't done a tour of the setup yet, but I've had people say, "Well, what are you using? What's this you're using? And what type of mic is that? Or where'd you get this from? Or how you do?" And so everybody's interested. I think it's important that we can dive into all this other stuff, but I think it's important what you're saying is for artists, producers, whoever to be thinking the same way.
Absolutely,
100%
product placement is key.
100% the same way. And so there are people who do it. There are people out there who have made a name for themselves and have received products because they've used products and they promoted those products in their videos.
There's a guy, a podcast guy I just saw. They said he's the first podcaster to get a shoe deal. Did you see that?
I did not.
Shout out to him. I don't know who he is, but he got a deal with Adidas.
That's dope. Because I guess in most podcasts you can see people's feet.
You can either see their feet or he could be wearing Adidas tracksuits. I don't know.
Yeah.
Adidas hats. I don't know. He just may be a real fanatic of Adidas products.
Every time I think of Adidas, I'm always thinking of shoes.
Yeah, they make head to toe gear.
Exactly. Head to toe gear.
Yeah.
Full everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to promote, right?
Mm-hmm.
Promote your product.
Hey, promote.
Placement matters.
Placement matters. That's why we got the branded cups.
Yeah, I think that every time I see, like, if you're an artist, if you're an independent artist and you have cover art for your single, that cover art should be on a t-shirt. That cover art should be on a sticker. That cover art should be on a coaster. That cover art should be anywhere that people will be because that could potentially be the opportunity to introduce yourself, your product. It legitimizes your product and it also promotes it.
Here's the crazy thing is because most independents, I know you are because I'm using it. Most independents are using Canva to create their products, cover art, unless you're paying somebody. But most people are probably using Canva to create everything else. And Canva allows you to take all of that, even if you're not using Canva. Let's say you use Canva to just make the actual logo. Then you can use a service like Printful, which is where I get these shirts.
Yeah.
And make your shirts, your hats, your mouse pads, your cups, everything, your laptop sleeves.
You just named another.
That's true.
Right?
Another adjacent.
You just did an ad for Printful just right then.
Give me that money.
So Printful need to come with it.
Come with it.
Like I use for my marketing stuff, I use Sticker Mule.
Mm-hmm.
And so in theory, that's an adjacency that everybody who has a pod, everybody who's an artist, they're all doing promotion. They need Printful. They need Sticker Mule. Why aren't those entities being promoted and paid promotion on shows? And they may be, but
people don't think about it. I haven't seen it. People don't really do it.
I'm a marketing genius, but it's also because I spent 27 years in retail.
Yeah, because people don't think about it. They don't really think about, I use this product. They just know I use this product every day, or I'm surrounded by this product every day. So I don't really think about from a branding perspective, positioning perspective. I should have that as a sponsor for what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Like, how many people do you see wearing T-shirts with their album art, name of their brand? And let's even say a QR code on the sleeve or somewhere. It's like, you want to get the album? Yes. Bam, go and scan that.
So that was an idea that collectively myself and the president of AIMP had talked about, where you literally have interns wearing the shirts that said AIMP and on the sleeve the QR code to become a member.
Yes.
So the shirt was my idea, but the QR code on the sleeve to become a member was his. And I was like, that's a great idea. And somebody said, what's that organization that's on your shirt?
That's right.
We scan the sleeve.
That's right.
You too can be a member.
I'll let y'all have that. But yeah.
Okay. All right. But
I'm joking.
Hey.
I'm joking.
At the end of the day, the only thing that separates, I won't say the only thing, the key thing that separates us all is our ability to execute.
Yes, right.
You can have all the great ideas in the world, but if you do not execute, then The world will never know.
Facts. You know, and that's so crazy because my time in Atlanta, and you've been here way longer than I have, I run into people who have a failure to do that at a high level. A lot of people talk a lot of stuff. Hey, I'm about to do this. Hey, I'm about to get in this. I'm about to do this right here. Y'all, I'm about to launch this.
Yeah.
And it's like nothing ever comes to fruition. Nothing ever really happens. Oh, we're about to start this conference and do nothing. Oh, we're about to start. Nothing.
When I used to, in like the 6th grade, I had a math teacher. He kind of shaped a lot of my philosophy in terms of a lot of things, but unintentionally, really. But he used to say, when you're long, you're wrong. Like when he would ask you to answer and you like, when you're long, you're wrong.
Right.
So if you're saying that you have an idea or a concept that you're going to do something and you don't have a timeline as to when you intend to get that executed, and you're like, oh, well, I'm gonna do this, or I'm waiting on this, or I'm trying to see, you're long, you're wrong, dog.
Yeah.
Like you either not gonna do it,
Yep.
or when you finally get it done, instead of you being, on the cutting edge of that, you're just another voice in the crowd, and your opportunity is passed. So
I think I heard on a Snoop album, study long, study wrong.
Oh yeah, no, I have heard that too. Yeah.
Study long, you study wrong. Like, yeah, before you came over, I was doing like a quick little live thing, and we're just kind of talking about some of that same thing about like John Wooden had this great quote where he talks about failing to plan is planning to fail. And I was just talking about having a plan and having more than one plan, right? You can't just have a plan. You got to have a financial plan. You got to have a strategic plan. You got to have an operational plan, and all those things are different, right? And so how do you start that process? Because a lot of people plan to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And then
and they don't execute.
There's layers to it. Like people will create a plan, but what I've learned is that if you don't set a timeline to that plan,
that's right,
that plan could potentially never come up off that paper that you put it on.
That's right.
There has to be a timeline. You've got to create some kind of mental clock, some kind of accountability in terms of being able to say, I hit this benchmark, I did this, I did that. If you don't do that, it's probably going to be, longer than it should be that those things happen, if they happen at all. Because a lot of people think once they get the idea out, it's a great idea. They're just excited about the fact that they got it out. But execution matters.
Yeah, I did a whole class on brand. I mean, I need to go back and kind of redo it. Maybe I can have you part of this class if go back and redo it. But it was branding in the music industry, and the first part of the whole branding thing, I was teaching people how to create SMART goals, right? And of course, we're talking about timelines, right? And so, what are the overall goals that you want to create, and what's the timeline you want to be able to do it in?
Yep.
And what does that process look like? I was even teaching people how to do a SWOT analysis, bro. Like, I know people probably watching the video like, what is a SWOT? A SWOT analysis? You're gonna be, like teaching people how to do a SWOT, like you SWOT and fly, like how to do a SWOT analysis. And I literally broke it down on how to do, really look at your internal strengths and your internal weaknesses and your external opportunities and threats. And I literally broke it down. So y'all go and watch that. Well, it's for members only. So if you want to watch it, you got to become a member. And so that's the only way you're going to get that information specific to how to create a SWOT within the music industry space. But it was a great course. I got to get back to teaching more courses like that. But yeah, brother, a lot has been going on. So I saw this thing. I'll give everybody some context to what I'm talking about. But I saw this article that said "Life After Death: Why Hip Hop Needs to Die So It Can Live Again."
That's interesting.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So it talks about this powerful essay circulating this week argues that hip hop may need to die commercially and culturally in order to be reborn authentically. In Life After Death, the author Hezekiah says the genre has become dominated by corporate interests, gimmicks, and empty trends, drifting far from its roots of storytelling, community, rebellion, and truth telling. He argues that what's dying is not the culture, but the industry version of hip hop, one built on exploitation, shock value, and algorithm driven sameness. According to the article, this death clears space for a new generation of artists who create from a place of purpose, experimentation, and lived experience, not just commercial formulas. This essay compares the moment to eras like in rock and jazz and soul, where the genre had to collapse commercially before rediscovering its artistic identity. He suggests death is not the end, it's the reset button hip hop needs. I was like, wow. He broke this whole thing down. So he talks
conceptually, it makes sense.
Conceptually, it makes sense, right? It's like, does what we experience today from a hip hop perspective need to die? The infrastructure of hip hop, the business of hip hop, does it need to fade away? Does it need to be demolished and then rebuilt back up to what
I think that's it. I think it's actually in progress.
How?
I mean, we just had the conversation, or I don't know if we talked about it here, but the conversation was had very recently about the fact that there were no hip hop records on Top 40, right?
Right.
Or on Billboard's Top 40. So, and how and why does that happen? And if that's clearly based on labels deciding that they are going to prioritize, again, the marketing of those songs, of those artists, then those songs and those artists would be on the Billboard Top 40. They would be there because the machine, as they call it, can ensure that, that music and those artists show up in those places. When the allocation of those resources have been shifted to something else, that tells you in itself that they're not, from a large platform perspective, they're not seeing the return on the investment. Right? So it's like, if you've got a plant that's growing and flourishing, and you've got another one that's looks like it's kind of dying, and you've had it for a while, and you like, okay, well, I'm gonna prioritize the one that's green and growing, versus if I've only got so much water to give, I'm gonna give it to the one that's already looking good versus the one that's kind of in transition right now. So this is an opportunity in itself for that rebranding. The thing about that makes it different to me than, for example, because to me, rock music has not come back to life. I can remember, in the era of bands, in the 90s when MTV was big, you would have, your Blink 182s and your Creeds and was Third Eye Blind.
And
You would
9 Inch Nails.
Even the Red Hot Chili Peppers, like that era of knowing that I don't know the name of a band to save my life that has come out in the last 5 years. I don't know a band, period. I don't know.
There's a bunch of them,
to me, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the marketing that went into those bands becoming household names, that marketing, those dollars has shifted to hip hop. And so you didn't hear about the rock artists as much because only the cream of the crop were still getting that kind of attention, right? Only the ones that were the upper echelon, not all of even the new bands. We were hearing about those. You don't hear any of that anymore, especially when places like MTV changed their formatting anyway.
Right.
So those dollars got shifted to hip hop. Well, now that those dollars are not in hip hop, the question becomes, where did that money go? What's the new allocation?
It's going to pop.
I was gonna say, we talked about K-pop here, right? We talked about new artists that are cutting through in genres that before weren't seen as much. So you can see that hip hop, in terms of how resources are being allocated to it, that has absolutely changed. It's not what it used to be. And so that death thing to it has some credence to it. However, I would challenge that by saying the difference between rock and hip hop is hip hop in itself is a culture first, a musical outlet second.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you can't kill the culture. The culture's not gonna die. So rappers are gonna still keep rapping. And
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe rock bands still
They still could be.
exist.
They do. They do still exist, but
I don't know if they're still as prevalent. Like people, like labels were trying to assemble bands.
Mhm.
I don't know that that's still even a thing.
And I think labels are no longer in the business of assembling
anything.
bands, anything anymore. But especially bands based upon how much money they were spending on bands.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so now they've decided, like, hey, you know what? It costs a lot to be able to ship a band, pay for the band, pay everyone, put them on tour,
Yeah.
pay for all of that. It's like, so
yeah, return on the investment.
The ROI
and that's what they decided about hip hop. It become too expensive to buy the
That's right.
cars, to pay for the flights, to pay
Yep.
for the entourage, to pay for the lawyer to get the artist out of jail.
I think that's
to pay
yeah.
for the insurance policy that I
That's
gotta
right.
have on the artist because the artist is prone to violence.
Prone to violence.
All of those things they've decided, you know what,
That's
it's
right.
time to find a way to reallocate the cash because the liability over the return is not worth it. Or not necessarily not worth it, but maybe better served somewhere else. Like we used to have a philosophy in the industry, we called it the fast horse. So right now, K-pop and pop in general is the fast horse. And where do you put your money? You put your money on the fast horse.
On the fast, and it's the safer horse.
Yeah.
It may be the fast horse, but it's a safer horse. You don't find in the K-pop world and in the pop world a lot of the situations that happen within hip hop. Rock, you kind of saw it, but not to the extreme or the
Yeah.
extent that you would see it in hip hop. And so they're like, okay, where can we still make short-term money, which is what is happening in hip hop? Let's put out this album. Let's gain all this, finances from it. Let's take that and allocate it somewhere else, because we're not going to fund the culture of hip hop anymore. So
Right.
we're going to do away with the shows that they got.
Mm-hmm.
We are not going to pour as much money into the artists, into the studios, into the videos,
Mm-hmm.
into any of those things that we see from a hip hop perspective. But the article really is about the gimmicks, the structure. Well, let me go back to the word that Brian always talks about, the culture appropriationness of hip hop. I mean, because when you think about it, who runs hip hop? Who runs the labels?
Right.
Who runs the industry and the exploitation of hip hop? Not so much black people,
Right.
but other entities run, or other, I would say other colored individuals,
ethnicities,
skin colored pigmentation,
yeah. Other financially, the financial status, people of a different financial status.
Exactly. They are in the business of running hip hop and culturally appropriating it to do the things that they need to do. I'm reading this book, and I actually need to go back and finish reading this book because I want to read all the things that are in here. But this book, where's my Kindle at? This book is called The Jewish. I'm not saying I'm talking about the Jewish people. I'm just saying the book is called The Jewish Phenomenon, and it talks about the 7 keys to enduring wealth of the Jewish people. And bro, this dude, the dude who wrote it is Jewish, and he's breaking down everything in this book. I'm just like, wow. From the education, from like, they are super mad heavy about education and want to ensure that they get the education that everybody needs. And they were sure that you as another fellow Jew is also going to get an opportunity for the education. And they are some of the largest donors. into because a lot of it's tax write-offs,
Yeah.
right? And reality, I mean, we know they own a lot of the industry. Whether it's good or bad, however you may feel, they own a lot of the industry.
Right.
And so they're not of the industry. They're not of the culture of hip hop. But they're the ones making.
They facilitate.
But they facilitate and make a lot of decisions for what happens. So in this article, he's talking about how does hip hop die to corporate interests and get back to the authenticity of where hip hop began? Do we need to crumble the entire foundation, not culturally, but corporately, and rebuild that infrastructure again with new faces in leadership roles, new corporate entities now being in charge of hip hop itself and driving out anything that is not beneficial for hip hop, the culture, and culturally and corporately. And I was like, wow, because that's essentially in this thing. Something has to, you were giving the example about the plants, right? In order for something to grow, you got to prune it. That's why you see, like you in the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi was in there pruning that little bonsai tree.
That's right.
And Daniel-san was like, "What you here doing, Mr. Miyagi?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm pruning this tree because in order for me to prune it, it can now,
in order for it to grow
the way it needs to, we gotta cut some stuff off." And there's a lot of things in hip hop that we got to cut off in order for this genre, this community, this culture to really get back to where it was. And sometimes you may have to pull it up by the roots.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all let us know what y'all think. Like, I thought the article was very interesting. Very interesting. I'll post it hopefully I can remember to post it in the bottom of this description so y'all can go read it for yourself. But yeah, he makes some very valid points in there. And that's kind of like on the next topic is on the same thing, because the next topic goes down to Joe Buns. Joe Budden.
You said buns.
Joe Buns. Joe Budden. So Joe Budden says the music industry is a lotto scam. I don't know, did you see this? He was
did not.
He was on your boy Jim Jones' pod. Well, anyway, he was on Jim Jones' podcast. And so he was in there calling the modern music industry a lottery scam, arguing that labels convince artists they have a real chance at success, even though the system is structured for most to fail. Joe Budden breaks down how streaming economics, 360 deals, recoupment, and label marketing manipulation create a pipeline where only a tiny percentage of artists ever see real money, while labels profit regardless. His take raises major questions about whether success in today's music business is based on talent and work ethic or luck and exploitation. And we know Budden, he's going to give you the business. He's going to go in and tell you like how you feel about stuff.
Yeah.
It is though. When you think about it from a label perspective, labels are a bank.
Yes.
And we'll get to I want to talk about the Diddy documentary. But in the documentary, they were talking about, which was so crazy, but talking about it was the recoupment process. So, he owned the studios that the artist would record at, and he would charge them for the time he spent at the studio. So, hey, you was here all this time. You owe me $400,000.
Right.
I was like, but wait, I'm an artist on your label using your studio.
Right.
Yeah, but you got to pay for studio time. And that's recoupable.
Yeah.
And it's like, when do artists ever see real money? We've heard stories about artists never seen any money. We heard it from TLC. We heard it from John B. We heard it
Right.
from, you name it. A lot of artists have not seen, unless it comes through other means. Right? 360 deals, of course. Now they have access to different things where they can start receiving more money. But a lot of artists don't make a lot of money in that deal in the very beginning, or maybe even years after, because you think about it. So let's say that you're signed to the label, and of course you know all this, but let's say you signed to the label and you have a 3-album deal, right? And in that 3-album deal, they advanced you 100,000 to do the whole thing. But let's say that 100,000 is not recouped on that first album. What happens on the second album?
You're in the red.
You're in the red. It's recouped.
You're already in the red. The minute they give you the $100,000,
right.
You're in the red.
And they have the ability to add that recoupment to the second album. It's like, yo, wait. So you mean if we paid for the everything, the cars? That's why I would like, if I was assigned to a label, I'm not don't give me nothing. I don't want no car. I don't want no, because I remember like in the 5 Heartbeats, Big Red was like, what color you want? He was like, we got all the cars. And they were like, yeah. No, the label is not giving you that car for free.
Right.
You got to pay that back. And it's like, it's a lotto scam. It's a very small.
I don't see the lotto correlation. How is it lottery is a game of chance.
And that's
right?
what they're saying.
But
it's a game of chance.
You pay for admission, right? But in order to pay for admission to the lottery, you have no control over the outcome of the lottery.
That's true.
You have control over the outcome of your creative career. Whether that's you having an understanding of the business, like some do, but most don't. Mm-hmm. Whether that is your ability to create a product that is uber successful, and so therefore it recoups itself. Some people don't know what it is to be in a bad deal because they just ended up with a hit record. And so they, regardless of how bad the deal was, they made so much money because their songs did so well that they didn't even know or care that the deal was bad. Like nobody signed a good deal originally, but you don't hear everybody talking about, especially not superstars, you don't hear them talking about how bad their deal was usually. Why? Because they recouped that deal. That's and then they, based on the fact that they were able to recoup, they then use that as leverage to sign a better deal the next time around.
That's right.
They could afford the things the second time around that they couldn't afford the first time, but were able to, because I guess you could say that there's some luck to music, but for the person who spent the hours in the studio writing the song or singing the song or producing those records, they would probably attribute very little of that to luck. Because they would say this was a God-given talent, or the amount of work hours, whatever that the resilience, the attention to detail, none of that equivalates to playing the lottery where you just hand somebody $1 and see what happened.
But from a lottery perspective, though, we're all paying into it, and I think that's the culmination. Few win, but everybody's paying into it, which everybody can't. So I think his thing is everybody can't win, or it's not a level playing field for everyone. So we know artists or record labels have, what's the right word I want to use? I'm gonna say tiers of
artists,
right?
Uh-huh. They do. They have. That's a good term.
They have tiers of artists. So they have.
That's how they prioritize that artist.
That's right.
Even the genre would be a determining factor of where they're prioritized.
That's right. And so they may say our concentration is going to be on these 3, and then we may be looking at these 3 or 6 down here, but then we may not even look at these, but we sign them.
Yeah, we sign them. If they do something to push themselves up into the next tier, then we handle them accordingly.
That's right.
If they don't, they stay where they are until we do what we do at the end of every year, which is we prune for growth. Our bottom 10% gets cut.
And that's literally what happens from a label perspective. So It's like, does luck play a part into that? Does probably.
Maybe. But I'm going to say very little. 80-20 maybe.
because
And 20 is being generous.
what if I got the look, I got the sound, I got the vibe, I got the energy, right? I got the package, and it's like, yeah, they thought we put out the first project. The first project didn't do as well as we thought it was going to do. I moved down a tier.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm there. Now all the resources and allocation that was put into that, I still got to recoup that back to the label. My next project comes out and it barely does enough to recoup that back. And the label goes, this artist may not be the artist that we thought this individual was. So now we're not going to put as much effort into them. And so now they're going to go down another tier. While we say, okay, now we need to concentrate on these individuals that live up here. Is it a lotto scam?
See, even that I don't think so, because you have the ability as an artist to put yourself in a position to change your tier. You don't have the ability to change your chance of winning the lottery. It's not a scam in that way. I think it's easy and convenient for people to say, well, I didn't know and they took advantage of me and yombity yomp yomp and bobbity bop. This is not being the cashier at a grocery store where you can say, well, they limited my growth because, you know what I'm saying, all I could ring up was produce and canned goods. No, you as an artist,
I wasn't able to work in the bakery.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If they had just let me slang some meat, then I would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have had customers slobbering at the mouth.
That'd be the deli, but you know what I'm saying?
Oh, right.
I was like,
let me pack the meat.
They didn't want me in there working in the bakery. They didn't want me in there getting that bread.
Right, they didn't want me getting
my man
bread.
Went to the slinging the meat.
But as an artist, you can think about the artists that were like, I don't know. I can't think of any bad examples right now, but there's several artists that they ended up going in, whether it was going into acting or whether it was writing for other artists, and then that allowed them to be seen by the label in different capacities to raise the value of what the label thought that they were. A lot of songwriters.
That'll be a Priscilla Renee example.
Oh, there's a lot of those examples.
Yeah, there's a lot of those examples.
Even Carrie Hilson is an example of somebody who was part of a writing group, but she shined. They didn't sign her to be an artist. They signed her to be part of that writing group.
Right.
And she showed that she had the ability to where they said, you know what? We need to take a look at this aspect of this person because I think there might be something to that.
That's right.
If she had just stood there and waited for them to pick her, then she would have never got that opportunity. Right. But she produced a product that made it appear that she had value that they wanted to exploit.
And that's the thing, right? I mean,
that ain't lottery.
That's not,
because lottery is still, you have no ability to influence your position.
Not in a lottery perspective.
You have true. None. So it's not a scam.
Not Mega Millions.
I think we tie these terms that make us in the creative spaces. We tie terms to bad business that make it appear as though we were the victims. So you're a victim because you didn't read the contract, and then you say, well, I didn't know. And so now here we go with because you didn't know, they took advantage of you. Like this is not a man jumping out of a van and grabbing a 12-year-old. Like this is a 18 or a 20 or a 25-year-old who put pen to paper and signed a deal, said, I was on my last dollar and I signed.
I mean, but think about it though.
And now we want to call it a scam, but
you got a lot of labels that promise young artists, a lot of things.
Yeah, and they have predatory practices.
They do things like
have you sign to the label, and then you don't have a manager. They bring you a manager, and the manager works for the label.
That's right.
Then the manager brings you a lawyer, and the lawyer works for the label.
That's right. Which is crazy.
However, and we trust people. I'm from Cleveland. I don't trust myself. So
I don't trust myself.
so you're not gonna just be handing me things, and I never say to myself, should I look and see what the ingredients are to this? Should I find out if there is any other option or avenue?
But why should I believe that you have ill intention when you're saying to me?
Mean?
When you're saying to me, look, you know what? We about to make you
it's the way of the world.
You're about to make me. They're gonna make me a superstar, though. They're going to bring me into their system, and they're going to give me the ability to make an album.
Even if you only been to Bible school,
VBS, baby,
then you know about Adam and Eve. And so therefore, hey,
there's always a snake in the garden.
It's always a snake in the garden.
Snake in the garden.
And we ain't always automatically gonna be on the same page. Just because something is what your goal is, don't mean that's what my goal is. And it's a strong possibility we don't see each other as equals, right? I may say, hey, I created you. The first and greatest example should tell us enough that we need to know you question everything. Mm-hmm.
But people don't do that.
To the best of your ability, right? And no, actually, I take that back. Not to the best of your ability, because you don't have the ability.
Exactly.
So you need to go beyond your ability.
That's right.
Now, it is some people out here who did some stuff that was even a second level dumb, like having a real estate lawyer look at a entertainment contract.
You can't do that.
And thinking, well, it was a lawyer.
Any lawyer. What's the law, the like the everyday lawyer, what's that thing called? Oh man, what's it called? I don't know why I was saying Expedia, because that's a flight. That's a flight.
You talking about LegalZoom?
Yeah, LegalZoom. Yeah. Like I had my LegalZoom people read it.
Right, LegalZoom told me. Yeah. Well, that's like people saying, well, I had ChatGPT tell me what the contract said. It said it was pretty good.
That was good. No. But think about it. I'm a young person. I'm going into this industry where I'm having these seasoned professional people tell me.
You're mesmerized by the industry.
It's like, wow, this is
you're just so caught up.
X, Y, and Z person. They're saying they made these people into superstars. Right. And they're going to do that for me. So I'm going to trust them to do what they said they were going to do. They gave me a lawyer. They gave me a manager. And they're going to help me get to where they said they're going to take me. They're in it for their best interest for the company. If the lawyer works for the company, if the manager works for the company, they're in the best interest of the company.
Yeah. Right? But I mean, and I know that as humans, I literally said this to somebody earlier today. It doesn't matter how much we are told or that we educate ourselves on. Some of the only lessons that we learn and that truly stick are the ones that we experience.
Yes.
Because I was going to say, like, Little Richard been telling us for 40 years that the industry was crooked and that they stole his songs.
Yes.
And we think it's cute because he's entertaining when he does it, but he's telling the truth.
He's telling the truth.
So this is not brand new. And I guess you can call it a scam, but the true scam was when you talked yourself into believing that everyone had your best interest in mind. And so you could let your guard down.
Yeah, as I was putting this together, I had these questions, right? So y'all could figure out how to answer these in the chat too, or in the comments, right? So like the question was, is the music industry really a lottery system where only a few win and everyone else pays into the pot? Does Joe Budden have a point?
No.
Or is this a oversimplification of a complex business?
It's a bad example.
It's a bad
to
example.
Me, it's a bad metaphor. I mean, I get it. Like you said, I get it, but no, because that is literally a game of chance. And I know that there are people with skill sets.
That's right.
You don't walk into the 7-Eleven like, oh yeah, I got 7 years of lottery playing under my belt. And today is the day. Y'all don't have a chance.
I got experience.
Yeah.
Right. Like, are major labels intentionally selling artists a dream they know most will never reach? What responsibilities, if any, do labels have to be honest about the odds of success? Labels don't have to be honest about any odds of success. Their job is to say, we're going to put money behind you, to market you, to brand you, to record this album. But you can record an album and people not like you as an artist.
And not only that, but how many artists are going to be like, well, I don't know if I should be an artist. More times than not, I won't say every, because there are some that are reluctant to go into it. But more times than not, those artists think that they are exactly what the labels think they are. The next superstar.
Right.
And if they don't think they are, they know that they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to bet on themselves in that perspective to say, I can, that could be me. Why not me? That's all, like you said, that's always been my dream, or that's always,
my dream. That's my dream.
So sure, you would be hard pressed to be at a label and be like, well, you might not sell no copies, and the artist be like, you know what, you right.
You're right. I may not.
You right. I'm probably not gonna sign this because I don't have the kind of talent Janet Jackson got. Like,
but that's with labels, that's what they were grooming people to do, though. They no longer do that anymore, of course. But they would find talent and they would develop that talent to be superstars. It was hard pressed to go to Motown and find an artist that was not a superstar or almost not a superstar.
Yeah.
Who on Motown would you say was not a superstar or at least a star? I don't even want to say superstar, a star, at least. Marvelettes,
hard pressed,
Temptations, Jacksons, Diana Ross Supremes. I mean, Smokey Robinson.
yeah.
Right? I mean, they developed them artists. And every single artist that they develop, which is why when you look at K-pop, almost every K-pop artist that comes out is a successful K-pop artist.
Yeah.
Almost every, because
I mean, they got K-pop camps over there. Like
they got, man.
To be able to dance and entertain and all of that is prerequisite. You got to come with that. Not come with that. They will
train you and groom you. Mm-hmm. You got to at least have the ability to look like you can do it. And they think you got the look and the sound.
Yeah,
they'll train you
the
to
rest
do
of the way.
They'll train you in everything, and it may be a couple of years.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It may be a couple of years that they're developing you.
Oh yeah, but they wild style with it. You be like 9 years old, and they have you in there popping and locking your heart out. And then we don't see no sign of you until you're 22 years old, and you the nicest we ever seen. And we like, oh yeah, fresh on the scene. And I'm a man, like, man, I'm a veteran. Like
you just started. I've been in this game 15 years.
I mean, right. You're like, what? You 22.
That's right. But here's the thing. They don't take chances. It's not we'll use a lottery thing. It's not a lottery for them. It's like, we got that group. Our job, we're gonna make that group successful, no matter.
And that also is, about the spend. They're willing to spend what it takes to make that.
That's right.
Plus, it's hard to say too, like in things that are as they relate to China, because like China is the home of the BBL. Like nothing is. As K-pop really
is Korea, but.
Oh, true. But most of those labels are owned by companies in China.
Yeah, they have part ownership in them.
What is it? Tencent and
Tencent, no joke though.
It's a China company though.
Tencent owns a lot.
Yeah, so a
lot.
So you might be in Korea, you might be in Japan.
Shoot, you may.
But who's funding it? You
could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
What Tencent got their hands in, it's ridiculous.
So,
Tencent is ridiculous, bro. So, but
I think there's definitely, for whether it's pop, whether it's hip hop, whether it's a lottery system, there is a process right now taking place where everybody is trying to figure out what that regrowth, what that rebirth looks like for all of these industries, in terms of how you can be successful, how you can be seen, and how you can monetize, how you can make a living off of doing music and not having to be part of one of these major labels. Yeah,
that's the kicker, is how can you do that?
So you don't have to play the lottery.
So you don't have to figure, is it luck?
Yeah.
Am I going to get shelved as a They're going to sign me and shelf me for 3 years.
Right.
And then what can I do now? I can't really do anything.
So boom, this is not on the thing.
I can't put out
Let me
music.
tell you this one story. I just seen this the other day. The artist's name is like Bjork. It's BJRNCK.
Oh, okay.
R&B artist.
Mm-hmm.
She signed to Interscope, I'm gonna say. She was asked on a radio show or a podcast about a song that she has that has a line in the song in the hook that's the same as a Summer Walker song, right? And so they asked her, "Hey, aren't you guys, on the same label? Aren't you rep by the same people? How do you feel about the fact that you guys have this song?" It's literally the only similarities in these songs is that one line. But that one line is in the hook. So
in both.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the artist says, really, if to be honest, like that's my song. Like, that's my song. So why they did that, I don't know.
I did see that. She was on I can't remember who
I don't remember what
talking
show
to another
she was
lady.
on.
Yeah. I did see that.
And so, of course, immediately, what some of us would do, I went looking for the song. I'm like, I want to see what Summer Walker song and what song this artist has that are the same. She's saying they took her song. I listened to the songs. Them songs don't sound nothing alike. It ain't, other than that line, there is nothing else in the songs that has any similarity. And, lines, certain things that we say as a culture, those things will be repeated.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly what the line is, but it's, it's a variation of something that we probably say all the time.
All the time.
Man, I can't think of what it is right this
minute.
That. If you look that artist up, you probably will find it pretty quickly. BJRNCK. But so I was talking about it with
I don't even know how you pronounce that.
Bjork is how they were saying it on they were saying that the JR was like a Y. They were saying Bjork on that pod, or that might have been a radio interview. I'm not sure. But I was talking to my production partner, Trap, shout out to Trap, about this. And he was like, yeah, man, the songs don't sound anything alike. I said, yeah, that artist is a genius. She's smart. That was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because like you said, she's probably on the lower tier at the label. She's not getting any looks. Not like Summer Walker's getting looks.
Exactly.
So for her to say, yeah, they stole my song. Now people actually are paying her some attention. Now they're going to listen to her song.
Exactly.
Because, like I did, to see if Summer Walker stole her song.
That's right.
So she got motion. Now, if B was here, B would be saying it's a right way and the wrong way to do things. And that's kind of a slimy way to do things in order to get motion. But when you a lower tier artist, hey, by any means necessary, as long as you're not hurting nobody, then you do what you got to do from a marketing standpoint. And this was her opportunity to market herself.
I'm trying to figure out what was the song called? You know what her song was?
Take Me Out This Club. Something to that effect. Something about taking me out the club. I mean, even like the subject matters were slightly different, but they had that same.
Oh, is it called Club?
Hers is called Club.
It's in the hook, right?
Summer Walker's is called Take Me Out This Club. And she says, take me out this club.
Take me out this club. Drinks, I've had enough.
Right.
Not
so
asking
she only
for too
says
much,
it once.
Much. Tonight we gonna make love. Right.
And that's the whole hook, right? Wait. That's the whole hook, right? You just read? Okay, now go find the Summer Walker lyric.
Oh, okay, let's see.
She says, take me out this club. That is the hook. Now, in that song, the lyric you just read, the only line that said take me out this club was the first line.
I'm gonna say boom.
In the Summer Walker hook,
take me out this club. Oh, I want to go home with you. Take me out this club. I want to go home.
So Summer keeps saying, "Take me out this club." The other song she says it one time.
This is Summer right here.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. She keeps saying it, right?
Summer say, "Take me out this club. Take me out this club. Oh, I want to go home with you.
Yeah,
take me out this club.
That's twice.
I want to go home with you. Yeah. I don't even know that's how it goes.
So, and if that's the hook, then that gets repeated, right?
Yeah, but that's not the same thing as
take me out this club. Drinks
club. I've had enough.
Yeah, she only
too much. But that reminds me of something else. That reminds me of something else. It reminds me of another.
It's not the same thing, but she was smart enough to say yes. She said, "Low key, they stole my song." She said, "That's my song."
That is not even close.
But it was the right thing to do for a lower,
for a lower tier artist,
for a lower tier,
who maybe on that label. You got
trying
Summer,
to get some motion.
You got Summer Walker here. Yeah. She's on tier, the highest tier. You're down here on the bottom rung. Heck yeah, why not?
So that's the if we were to translate that back to independent artists, that's where you find the collaboration that will grow your audience. That was the collaboration in that from a messy standpoint. That's gonna grow her audience because now you probably got some Summer fans that's like, let me see what this girl talking about. Summer ain't stole her song. Summer don't have to steal no song. Summer write her own song. Summer one of the best singers out here on it. This girl don't know about no Summer. Let me go see what this song. Now she done got another 30,000 views or streams just off of people trying to validate whether or not what she's saying is true.
That's right. But this ain't the first time that things like this have happened where you have an artist who may not be on the same tier level as a major artist claiming something that a major artist did for lower tier artists. Now, there are higher tier artists who have specifically done things to take songs from a lower tier artist.
100%.
Like the We Outside. Is that the Cardi B? Outside?
Oh, yes.
And
that's the same song.
It's the same song. It's literally the same.
The cadences, the hook,
same song.
The track. Yeah,
same song, right?
That's robbery.
Yeah. So I have a lot of friends and
that's a great example because this ain't that.
This ain't that. So I have a lot of friends that are in the Christian hip hop world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember something similar like this came up with an artist that's from St. Louis, who was. They're gonna get me. Y'all know this on the news, so it ain't like I'm talking about Marcus like that. I'm just saying. Flame had accused Katy Perry of stealing his song, and Katy Perry using that Dark Horse.
Yes,
for
I
his
remember
song,
that story.
Joyful. I think it was Joyful, and Joyful Noise is a super dope song still. And they said that Katy Perry had used the same type of melody and things, and it came to we found out that it really wasn't true. When you heard the song, you could probably maybe hear a little, maybe, but this ain't that either.
Yeah,
just because you say one word, that's
one
similar,
phrase.
The one phrase, take me out this club. How many people have that? That's not a.
That's why I said it's culturally. I won't say common, but. It is culturally used and maybe even worded slightly different. But it was smart of her to say,
it was smart.
Absolutely. Summer Walker
stole my song.
The multi-platinum Billboard Grammy-winning artist stole my song.
And she did.
The songs are identical.
And they're not.
That was the smartest way. Yeah, bar for bar. She robbed me. That was a smart play by her.
No, the only person who could say that was the outside lady, the outside rapper.
Yeah, no, that was robbery.
Literally robbery.
Yeah, right, that was a heist.
That was still what they heard the beat was like, yo, we taking that.
Yeah.
We don't care if you put that out.
Yeah.
Or even what my man said, and I do want to talk about that because I'm gonna lead into that with this. Even my man, I think he was from Memphis and he claimed that Biggie stole his style.
Oh, yeah.
And when you go back and listen to his and you go back and listen to Juice, you're like, oh, this kind of literally
similarity.
There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
A lot of similarities. I want to talk about this Diddy documentary, man.
Let's do it.
I want to talk about the Diddy documentary. Because you said that, you was like, oh, it ain't that bad. I want to know. I got to know your thoughts on this documentary, bro. Like, I watched the whole thing, and I was like, yo. So of course y'all know Netflix new documentary, Sean Combs, The Reckoning. Executive produced by 50 Cent.
It's crazy.
I know my man had a ball making with this thing.
That's crazy.
Sparking national conversation as it exposes decades of alleged abuse, manipulation, intimidation, exploitation connected to Diddy's personal life and business dealings. Beyond the scandal, the documentary forces the music world, especially independent creatives such as all of us, to confront the dark side of power dynamics, contracts, loyalty, exploitation, and how predators thrive in an industry where weak oversight and no real HR, because they ain't got no HR departments. This is not just a story about
Which
Diddy.
is crazy.
It's a cautionary tale about the dangers we all face when we're trying to chase fame, or for those of you who may be chasing fame, validation, and gatekeeper approval. Oh man. Now, I'm not even gonna get my thoughts first.
But see, for me, okay, here's the thing for me. This is how we'll wrap it up in a burrito. The documentary is great from a perspective of laying out a timeline, telling a story or telling stories in order to paint a picture of who Diddy is, right? Mm-hmm. It does all those things. I think there's probably about 20% of it are things that some of us knew, some of us didn't know. And so it even, had some of those cool little nugget type stories. I say cool, but it was pretty jacked up situation. And then, you come to the conclusion that Diddy is like a terrible person. Probably a person who assimilated himself to an industry that had bad practices, and he figured out a way to put his own spin on those same bad practices. It's not like, actually, when you think about how the story even started, they basically painted it as though he came out the house already on one because his dad potentially
came out that
was,
womb like,
if you hadn't seen it, then I'm spoiling
I'm
it.
Spoil
we
it.
about to
Sorry.
This thing bad milk.
Y'all better hurry up and go watch it.
But mostly everybody has seen it at this juncture. So I just didn't think there was anything that was like, oh, shocking. And then things to me, for example, because so much of this to me is about, in my mind, it was going to be about him being guilty or being in jail and how he got that sentence, right, to be in jail. And so when you take an entire episode like it did and talk about the Tupac thing, I'm like, okay, so we just driving an agenda here. This agenda is just because this don't have nothing to do with baby oil and and court cases.
Right.
This is something completely different, just to add more
fuel to the fire.
Fuel to the fire in terms of how I want you to feel about the behavior, the character, and the carrying on of this particular person, so that however I put a bow on this at the end, I've given you the momentum to make you believe anything that I say at the end, right? Or to give you, because people were saying after they saw it, they were like, he need to stay in there. I literally heard like 3 different social media perspectives where they were like, he need to stay in there. Like, maybe he is guilty of what they charged him but he's definitely guilty of a lot of things. And so if this is a culmination of karma, then he is where he need to be. Because based on the things he's done over his lifetime, at some point he got to sit down somewhere. And I get that. But so it wasn't necessarily about just how he got and what he's in jail for now. It literally was about a full retrospect of how he got to this point. And that's what I thought very well done.
That's what I thought it was. It was very well done.
But with an agenda to basically drag him. Well, it wasn't hard to drag him. Well, because he did what he did, but it clearly was agenda led to ensure that it painted a specific picture.
Well,
which I believe is an accurate picture. But
I think they just did what documentaries are designed to do. We're just giving you the information and telling the story from
that's not what
beginning.
That's not how all documentaries work.
No,
documentaries are just
documentaries for this,
based on who directs or writes or the content that is used. It is documentaries are made to meet an agenda.
This documentary was. I'll give you that to say an agenda to show that he has a history of predatory, manipulative, retaliatory behavior.
Yeah, the documentary is almost like if you watched it, you said, okay, the goal of this documentary was to show me everything that is absolutely terrible about this person. So that I am perfectly fine with the fact that he is in jail right now.
Exactly.
It's like watching
look at the title.
It's like
The Reckoning.
Yeah, it's like watching the documentary about the food, eat something about eat.
I don't know, but
you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And so it starts out talking about, the environment and how this is that. And then next thing you know, it's talking about large companies and about how they use their money to put this in the food and then they hide this. And so it was like, oh, I thought I was just watching something about my nutrition and how my nutrition was important. But actually, the purpose of that was
to expose what the large organizations like Monsanto and all them are
so
doing.
To have me so captivated by that by the end, because it started with how important my health is and how what I eat affects what my health. So it was like there was an agenda in that documentary. Yeah. Most have an agenda. I'm saying that it's not a surprise to me that the agenda of a 50 Cent produced documentary would be to give you the worst perspective of Diddy. And then, hey, shame on Diddy for having built a body of work that looks like absolutely slime.
It was like, hey,
that's on him.
It was like that was on him, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna show you that he has a history of these practices and behaviors that he has displayed within the industry. Now, of course, people have come out and said, "Oh, these are lies. We don't know if these things are true," and blah blah blah. And it's like, I don't know from a convincing perspective what it takes for anyone to believe that any person can display a certain type of behavior, right? That's like if I told you this dude over here a jerk. And my experience with him is that he absolutely is, hands down, a nutball jerk. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And I have experience with that to indicate that this dude is. Yeah. Right? And I've been with this dude, pause. But I
whoa. Yeah, it's a good job by you.
Exactly. For, a long period of time, in the industry, we work together, blah, blah, blah.
This is a normal industry thing, what you're saying
right now. A normal
industry
thing.
There's everyone is, well, not everyone. There are many, 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 many Jekyll and Hyde type.
Yes.
I think you have to understand that dynamic within the industry, and a lot of people don't. But go ahead.
No, yeah, I mean, and then I say to you, based upon whatever's happening, here's my experience with this person. And it's like, you've seen this person in a different capacity.
Yeah, your truth is not my truth.
Right. And that was one of the things the lady said in the video from Dirty Money. She was like,
I never saw any of that. Kalina.
Yeah, Kalina.
Yeah, she was that wasn't my experience. I don't know what they're talking about.
I didn't see any of that. Yeah. So I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. And, my wife saw that part and she was like, he was really smart about that. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, he kept it so that one person can never say anything bad about the other, what he was doing. He kept something clean on one end and dirty on the other end. He's over here doing whatever he's doing. Let's say he is allegedly doing all these things with Don, but Kalina never seen it. So whenever they were together, she never saw any of these behaviors. But when it was Don and him, Don experienced it. Kalina never experienced it because he never did that with her, but he did it with her, supposedly.
Yeah.
So her
I think that was an unintended consequence, but
maybe
that's probably giving him credit for being smarter than he really is.
Probably.
I think it was unintended, but
no, I think he is a very clever individual.
not in that way though.
Maybe
Because
I don't
ego
know.
makes you. So here's the thing. Let's say you decide that you want to have two people in a group, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're a very manipulative person or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But one of those people that you want to be in the group already is married, already has kids, and they have a tumultuous family situation. Mm-hmm. The other one is young, single, and ready to mingle. Your relationship with those two people is gonna be different. Like you said, there's going to be an amount of leeway that you could have with the one that's single and ready to mingle
Mm-hmm.
and young and inexperienced and isn't tied to a bunch of things versus the kind of experience that you can have with the person who's already a family person, who's already needing to go home at the end of the day because they got kids and so when that's the case, their experiences are going to be different. We talk about this all the time. As far as like some of the bigger names in the music industry, there's some, especially now that a lot of what I've done in the last couple years has really been on more of an advocacy or an executive type of platform, right? But before that, I was a hardcore nose to the floor songwriter. And so that's how I showed up in those rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
The songwriters will tell you that there's some of these super producers that are nasty, terrible people. They're mean to the writers. They're mean to the engineers. They're mean to outsiders, people that they don't know who come into studio sessions, that kind of thing. They're absolutely jerks, right? Those same producers, they meet me at a conference. They meet me at a summit. They meet me at some organization's gathering, and they are upstanding citizens, and they are attentive, and they are articulate, and they are compassionate because they show up in that room as the person that they need to be in that room, right?
That's right.
And so therefore, then my truth may not be the same. My truth as the executive is not the same as my truth as the writer.
That's right.
I'm like, I know how this guy might have treated people in the studio because I've seen that from a writer's perspective. It's where your leverage lies. And when you don't have the leverage, or when you don't have the scenario and situation that meets somebody's agenda, then they have to handle you differently. I believe that Kalina perhaps was handled differently because she didn't have a situation that allowed Diddy to treat her how he treated those that were young, that were away from their families, that were single. I believe Kalina already came in with kids,
with a husband,
significant other,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So her situation was different from the jiggity jump. He couldn't even attempt to go that way with her.
But maybe not, because if, of course, you go back and look at the whole documentary, Misa, Kim Porter. But Kim Porter was no longer at that time messing around with Albie.
Yeah, she was single.
Misa,
I mean, you could be dating somebody, but you're not married.
Not with Eric
Misa
Sermon.
was not with Eric Sermon. She was young.
Right.
She was single.
Cassie was with Ryan Leslie, though.
I guess.
She was, and Diddy was like, yeah,
that's still single. They wasn't married.
No,
they wasn't living with each other. They wasn't engaged. They were just dating.
That's it. They were just dating.
And
so she's still single because she's
still
not
single.
She's not
theoretically
in a fiance type of situation.
Yeah, she still got options at that point.
That's right.
We all did at that juncture in our lives.
But you show up how you need to behave in the situation, in the environment that you need to be in, right? So, like, as an example, I still work in we still have jobs, right? I work in corporate America where I actually got to go. We got a CEO and VPs and all that stuff, right? And our culture demands certain types of behaviors. Yes. And so a lot of us are really good at code switching. Yes. Right? And so we code switch in the music industry very quickly, very easily. When we could be one way in the studio, and then when we go to an executive meeting, we know how to behave. Yes. Because we understand what that situation calls for. Certain situations demand certain types of behaviors. Yes. the thing is that in the music industry, a lot of that's not transferable to how it plays out in corporate America.
Yeah,
But
the music
right,
industry is one of the few places where you can bridge the gap and just kind
exactly,
of be who you are across the board, and
exactly,
then they either choose to deal with it or not.
and that's true. And nor do they usually have the same type of organizational structure that corporate entities have.
Right.
Right,
Like you
having
said, they have no HR
no
department.
HR
So if
department.
you sit in an entire meeting cussing the whole time,
That
what they gonna do? Go tell HR?
right.
You in violation of the code of conduct?
Like when your boss is sending you emails about, yeah, when you want to come over here, now I'm gonna finish watching this and like what you want to do, girl, right? Like let me know, smiley face. And it's like, yo, this is my boss. Like, how am I supposed to
Yeah.
deal with this?
Right.
And it's like in corporate America, your boss send you that. Your boss is like, hey, did you send this email? It came from your email. Here's the email address. It's timestamp. Boom.
Mhm.
Hey, you out of here, bro. And you're getting
Yeah.
charged for sexual harassment
Absolutely.
within the corporate environment.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way in the music industry.
That's right. Unfortunately.
I do think that the intent was to paint the picture in a certain way.
Absolutely.
And
I just think we need to see that, acknowledge that,
and recognize it
understand
for
that
what it
that's what.
is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is it true that those things transpired? Sure. Is there a way to, steer to a perspective?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Um,
Is there good that Diddy's done for people?
100%. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You probably could do another documentary completely of lives that he impacted in a positive way.
Exactly.
Got people out of the hood, whatever. He's got, obviously, because of tax write-offs, I'm sure he's got foundations
and charities.
Yeah, he's donated to this and that. So you can paint
whatever picture you want.
Every picture
light.
has two sides. It's just the side that you intend to view, and the one that doesn't matter to you, right? And based on whatever your agenda is, you pick whatever aligns closest to your agenda.
And I think as independents, we got to be really, really smart, really careful about what we will do, what we will accept, what we will sacrifice in order to make it. Like when, was it Kalina? Maybe it was, or Babs. It was somebody. Maybe Kalina's not. No, they're not saying. When they were doing Making the Band.
That's Babs.
It's bad. Babs was like, yeah, I just went in the back and they gave me a stack of paper like this. And my lawyer read it and was like, if you sign this, they can guarantee you fame, but they ain't talking about fame and fortune.
Yeah.
So, and she was like, I signed it because it was an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? It was an opportunity to do something to probably move her out of where she was and to put her in a spotlight that she was not in before.
Yeah, hoping for that same scenario. Just like I said, some artists never really knew how they knew they were in a bad deal, but you never really heard them complain about a bad deal because they came out on the other side. They made so much money that it didn't really matter. Like for a long time, you never heard Babyface talk about being in bad deals, right? And then you're like, oh, well, you Babyface, and you own all your masters and you got your own studio and all of this. And then Babyface like, yeah, but when I was when I signed my first deal, when I was a member of The Deal, that was a bad contract. I had to go back later with money I made and buy my, rights to that music. But in the meantime, you never heard him actually talk about it because he was able to work his way out of it.
Yeah.
Everybody don't work the majority don't work their way out of it.
That's true. I just think it's really important for independents to kind of think about, what lines you will cross, what you won't do. I heard T-Ron on the Manager's Playbook talk about, he was like, what does selling your soul to the devil look like? He was like, what act does it? He's like, I've been in this industry for however long. I've never seen any of this. He said, maybe I leave, because he was like, Denzel talked about he leaves before the devil shows up. He was like, maybe I'll leave before the devil shows up.
Right.
And then I never get a chance to see it.
Actually, kind of.
It's kind of.
I mean, I don't know him on a personal level. But I know of him and how he worked and has worked. And I know that he does, and he has publicly talked about the fact that it's a job.
It's a job.
um
Not viable.
to even be able to get to a point where you can constitute it as just a job and not you doing that passionate thing, that thing that you're so passionate about, the thing that you love, is afforded by a certain amount of success. And he's had that success. And so the reason he can call it a job, right, is because, you know, he might go in there at 10 o'clock in the morning and he's gone by 6 o'clock in the evening. You know, I've worked with some artists that I know they were in the studio for 48 hours straight, and they've gotten to a point in their career now where when they call me to the studio, it's a 6-hour session and we up out of there. They not hanging around. They're treating it like a job. They come, I clock in, I'm gonna do the 6 hours worth of work and then I'm up out of here. So to that point, yeah, they are leaving before you got somebody at the back door with a handgun waiting for the next person to come walking out so they can rob them or whatever. They're gone already.
That's right.
So I think there's, again, on the tier system you were talking about, he's on a tier where he doesn't have to experience that.
That's right.
Where there's many writers that are sleeping in the studio, producers that are sleeping at the studio. So yeah, if something crazy pop off at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, they're right there at the studio.
They're ready to go.
They had nowhere else to go, so they're in it.
They're in it.
Or if you're like Lil Rod, where you're
Why
staying,
was I just thinking about Lil Rod and you just bring up Lil Rod?
Yeah, you staying with the man.
Hold up now.
You can't avoid
my man's like
whatever his lifestyle is. You can't avoid it.
My man's like
talking about he wake up feeling sore.
I wake up feeling sore.
Boy,
and I don't know why. Why am I sore?
I kept thinking to myself, what kind of drugs is he hitting them with? Horse steroids? What is he doing to? There were 3 different instances where people said that they didn't recall what had happened at all. The
lady Joy in the beginning,
then Aubrey, and then Rod. All were like,
we had no clue. The lady said some lady wrote the thing, was like, I knew it was Aubrey. Aubrey was like, I have no idea what this lady's talking about.
Right.
I don't remember, and I don't want to remember that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's, to me, that's wild. That you can be, I don't know what the word is.
So incapacitated.
But like coherent, but incoherent at the same time. Like you can actually perform an act.
I don't even think she was performing an act.
Well,
what
she read it wasn't like she was laid out on her.
No, it's like she was
back unconscious. No, that's not the description of what Aubrey read.
Yeah.
Aubrey read, they were saying she was.
No, he said that he had it there, but they ain't say she was physically doing
anything with
it. She wasn't physically doing anything.
Yeah.
She was just there.
I don't know about that. See, I think that's perspective. I think that's how you saw that.
Yeah.
That ain't how I saw it.
I took it as she was just. But once again,
I felt like they was saying that she just wasn't. It's the term that was used that she read, as it said, it looked like she was clearly inebriated.
Yep.
Not
incapacitated.
Incapacitated, unresponsive, or something like that.
Right.
That's like what you doing. Like she
was
was
here.
like
but
she was DOA.
Yeah, inebriated.
No, they're saying she just was.
You are out of it and you don't know what's
not
happening.
in your complete senses.
You remember how back in the day, I don't know if it's ever happened to you. You get in a fight with somebody and you just black out. And then all of a sudden the person on the ground because you beat him up really bad, but you don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I just blacked out.
What is that? What chemical?
I don't know.
Reaction in the brain creates that.
I've had it. I got in a fight with a dude. I blacked out. Next thing I know, dude's on the ground. I'm like, yo, what happened? They were like, yo, you was beating it. I'm like, I don't even remember that. That's all I knew. He was pushing me and I was just snapping. I was.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like some kind of defense mechanism in the brain when it receives too much of
something. Yeah. Doctors, y'all know
whether
what
it's adrenaline or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what in the? I guess it was the ketamine and whatever,
Maybe.
and maybe I don't know, but I'm like, he
Maybe.
hitting people with horse tranquilizers or something.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Although you would think that would knock somebody out.
Man,
I don't know.
Here's the
It
thing.
made me think about Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, yes.
How my man was able to drive the Lamborghini.
He crawled out of the Lambo on the ground.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. As I was watching this, and we're only talking about this because I think there's lessons in here for all of us as independents, right? You know, we don't like talking about stuff just to talk about it, but I think there's lessons for all of you, all of us to take away. Is staying in something that you know is a unhealthy environment and you choose to still stay anyway.
Yeah.
Like Kirk Burroughs, right? He was with Diddy for years. And all of a sudden at the very end, I don't know if this is in the 14 minutes you haven't seen yet. Y'all, if y'all haven't seen him, hey, sorry. He was like, not only did Diddy take the bad boy percentages from me, 25%, but he sexually did things to me.
Mm.
And it's like, but you stayed, my wife said, Mom, but you stayed all that time with him from everything that he was doing until he fired you, and you stayed with him all that the entire time. You could have made a decision to leave at any moment, at any time, like your boy Lil Rod.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind when you were saying
Lil Rod was like,
Lil
Rod stayed.
He's felt we become our prisoners to our own minds, and it puts us in situations like that. And we think that we will be freed, and not only freed, but elevated if we make it through those moments.
And that's
his thought the whole time was, we about to make these hit records. I'm going to be a millionaire once this album comes out, and they're going to pay me X amount of dollars, whatever, which he didn't even get his money. Crazy.
Hear what he said in the thing, though. He was like, they said that he said he was going to make me producer of the year.
Yes.
I was like, oh, really? Like, oh, how can you be producer of the year? Like,
he could have been.
He could have been. He stayed.
He could have been. Right?
Soon as I
Antonoff did all of Taylor Swift's album.
Soon as I thought, I woke up, so I'm leaving. I'm like, I don't know what happened. I'm out of here, bro. Like, yo, nah.
Yeah, you got producers that do the majority of an album, and then that album gets nominated for album of the year. That producer almost always in turn gets nominated for producer of the year.
That's right.
So he was the majority producer on that Love album.
Yep. Love Off the Grid.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But people stay in situations that are unhealthy.
100%.
They stay in situations that they become complicit in.
Yeah.
Like, it tripped me out, and I didn't even see you added the whole Ray J thing at the bottom. But we're talking about that, right? We'll get to that. Like the renting of the cars and driving it to LA, or the things that he was doing with Cassie, or the thing that blew my mind. I knew about the whole freak off things and all that, but to hear the dude tell the story of his interactions with Cassie and Diddy when it was just the three of them.
Yeah.
And we've had these conversations before that when you get a lot of money, you don't know what you would do.
Start doing stuff that's far beyond what your current character is.
And I was like, I mean, it literally blew my mind. I'm like, oh my God. And the dude was like, yeah, this happened. This lasted for 8 years.
8 years is insane.
Insane.
That's absolutely insane.
I was like, wow. My wife, the entire time, she's like, and nobody stood up to him. When he's punching someone, kicking someone, nobody, as his boy, grabbed him and said, hey, stop. Hey, you shouldn't be doing that. I mean,
they probably did. That's a different documentary, though.
That's a different documentary.
That wasn't part of the agenda for this.
That's right.
They probably did. Those people probably are working regular jobs somewhere because they couldn't get a job in the industry after they did that. I'm sure there were people that stood up. They may have been far and few between, but I'm sure they exist. Or people who stood up for themselves in a way of, like you said, the independent should do, which is remove yourself from the situation. It's probably a lot of people was like, you know what? This ain't it. I'm up out of here.
I'm out of here. I gotta go.
But that's a different documentary.
And once again, that is true. But we stay in situations, people stay in situations that they know are harmful environments, and they stay there because they feel that the benefit that they're going to get, the results, the ROI.
What is it? Risk versus
the risk.
What is it? Risk versus
risk versus reward. Yeah. But, no, it reminds me of
that's definitely Lil Rod.
No rewards. Right? Yeah.
So no risk it, no biscuit. But he got his biscuit buttered and
blown out. Boy,
blown out is crazy.
Boy,
yeah.
And my man, but he stayed.
Yeah,
but he still stayed.
He did, unfortunately.
Not just the first time. He still stayed.
Yeah.
Until the album was complete.
It's a prisoner.
Crazy.
Prisoner of his own passion.
Crazy.
Like he just wanted to be.
Speaking of somebody who if y'all haven't seen the Diddy documentary, go see it. It's wild. That's all I would say. It's the wildest I don't know if it's the wild.
It's really good.
It's really good though.
It's very well done, and it's actually
Very
slightly
well
educational because like I never knew about that whole thing with the people who got killed in the basketball.
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
I learned I was that day years old when I found out about that.
And when he started Bad Boy, how he gave 75% to his mom, 25% to Kirk,
and I had always heard about that. I always heard that, but I didn't know that it actually was in correlation to that event.
Yeah.
So that's why I said 50 did a great job.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
Couldn't take that away, but it absolutely wasn't a agenda. He said he did a great
but it was
job.
It wasn't just thrown together. It was very
and well as we move to talk about this last thing, I just thought the whole Tupac thing was crazy.
It was.
I just thought the whole thing was crazy. And
the whole thing was crazy.
The whole
even
thing.
To think about, did he set Biggie up? Like, did he get Biggie?
Bro, like
so he got them both laid down. Like, it is a possibility.
Because Kirk was like, no, he was like, y'all not going.
Yeah, they were supposed to be going
to London. He was like, I need y'all to stay. Like, why stay for what? Why are we staying here?
Mm-hmm.
Stay for what?
And then saying that Biggie said he wanted to stay.
So exactly. And Kirk was like, Biggie ain't want to stay. Biggie was ready to leave. He didn't even want to go to Cali the first time.
Yeah.
In the first place. But Diddy was like, no, we going.
That's that theory too. There's three sides.
There's three sides to every story. Because Biggie can't
tell his part. Yeah.
So it's like, but that whole proffer session would keep, and we can go to Ray J.
But maybe Faith has said, I don't know if Faith has ever mentioned whether or not he didn't want to. I feel like I have maybe seen an interview or something where she said maybe he didn't want to go or something. I might be making that up. So
I didn't even know Craig Mack was supposed to be there to perform. Craig Mack was scared. He was like, I need to go home, bro. Like,
an example of somebody who was like, you know what?
I'm
taking my ball and going home.
Peace out. Like the whole Keefe D proffer session was just eye opening. Eye opening. Because my wife was like, and then we can talk about that. My bad. She was like, just think all of these incidents in isolation mean absolutely nothing. They're just incidents that happen in isolation.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it and you take a step back and you look at all these incidents and the connectedness together, it's like, oh my gosh.
And my man was like, it just happened by chance. We just happened to see him. We going one way down the street, and
they said the girls
way, and some chicks yelling his name.
Tupac, and they're like, yo, there they go right there.
Yeah, crazy.
It was like everything was just crazy. Y'all go check it out. But once again, the reason why I wanted to talk about it, there's absolute lessons in there for us as independents. Oh my gosh. Watch yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Get lawyers. Make sure you have people on your side. Set boundaries for yourself.
Yeah.
Leave before the devil gets there.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm just saying.
Yes.
Leave before the devil gets there. Because trust me, there are things that go. Everybody know the freak offs happen. If you want to be a part of that, that's up to you. I'm not.
True.
Leave before the devil gets there. Right? Have boundaries. Don't stay in unhealthy environments.
Yeah.
Don't stay there. If you know that it's unhealthy and you just... Man, I was like...
It shouldn't take but one time for you to wake up with a sore butt.
Okay. Exactly. Okay, let's last thing. I know we've been here for a minute. Let's talk about... I didn't even see that you added this until... I was like, where'd this one come from? Bam, Ray J. Oh man, I love Ray J because Ray J knows how to take advantage of something. So Ray J's viral unauthorized outburst accusing power couple Beyonce and Jay-Z. You added this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I didn't know B added it. Of deliberately ignoring his sister Jay, y'all know y'all can go visit Brandy while she right there. Right? On the Boys Mind tour, quickly dominated entertainment news because he would do that. While Ray J claimed he was defending Brandy's honor against a perceived slight, his actions forced Brandy to publicly clarify the situation. This incident is a textbook example of how the high stakes involved in the industry, politics, and the critical role of an artist's inner circle. For independent artists, this isn't just a celebrity feud, it's a crucial lesson in who you keep in your corner. The difference between genuine strategic advocacy that protects your reputation and reactive, unchecked loyalty that creates a liability.
Yeah, and I saw it was on socials this morning that for the Atlanta stop of the tour, Monica took his phone. Like, I guess he was like in the front row of the audience, and she was like, "Give me your phone." Like, literally to that point. Like,
yo, Ray J is going to capitalize on a situation, bro. He is going to figure out.
But this at somebody else's expense. That's why, as an independent artist, like, you got to be careful with who you surround yourself with. Somebody could think that they're being an advocate for you, and they're ruining a situation for you.
It's always at somebody's expense for him. For him.
Yeah. Now, fortunate for Brandy in this scenario, she doesn't. Well, fortunate and unfortunate, perhaps. Actually, now that I'm saying that out loud, so she's not signed to a label. So it's not like there's anything that can immediately be done from a retaliation perspective, whether, let's say, the executives at whatever label Jay-Z or Beyonce has alliances with would stifle her music or, back off of her marketing or radio play based on this occurrence taking place, right? She doesn't have to worry about that because she's not even signed to a label. This tour is a Live Nation Urban collaboration. So that's one thing. But then what if she did want to be signed to a label?
She got this.
What if she is out here shopping for her next label deal, and now there's a buzz going around the labels that, hey, if we do business with Brandy, we got to do business. We got to
we got to do damage control.
Yeah,
with
prepare
Ray J.
ourselves for what Ray J is gonna do. We don't want that, so we don't want her.
And that's a shame. That's a shame that you could be a superstar and have a huge liability like a Ray J in this example, who could potentially cause harm to your reputation as an artist looking to make these types of moves, and you really can't because you have such a huge liability. She would have to literally cut him off and have no connection to him.
Yeah.
And no matter what he says, no matter what he does, I'm not affiliated with what he's doing.
Yeah.
We're related by blood. I love him. That's my brother. I love him.
And then even sometimes that's not enough. If I'm an entity with money and I know that he's going to ride for you regardless of whether you claim him or not, I just can't do business with you because it's too much of a liability in the possibility.
Yeah.
To kind of even to tie into that, this is not on our sheet, but I'm just going to say it because it ties into the two. There was a lot of talk about how Tamar was looking crazy at that No Limit and Cash Money thing, making Tony Braxton look bad or look crazy because Tamar was there hanging all over Tony Braxton's husband, Baby, dancing. I mean, she was like the only woman there other than Mia X. She was the only person up there, and she really didn't have no business. I mean, you an R&B singer. Why are you at the No Limit Cash Money? You making your sister look crazy because you up there with her husband that half the world don't even know that they married. Like that. So, and both of these are scenarios are your family. So it's not easy to you're not just about to cut family members off. I mean, some people do cut family members off.
You seen that
Been
Oprah?
there,
You seen
done
that
that.
Oprah episode that she just dropped? I don't really watch a lot of Oprah.
The one where he's like, I hadn't seen
And
my family in 7 years.
Yeah.
I hadn't talked to my family in 8 years.
True. Trust me.
Is that new? I thought that was something old they had brought back up.
Maybe, but there's people out there who will cut people off. I know, for example, I ain't got nothing to do with you. I will cut you off.
Yeah.
Clean.
They just in the music industry, that's hard to avoid though, because they still out here doing. Like Tamar's still signed to a label. She's still gonna be doing her thing. Tony out here trying to do her thing.
Ray J out there still doing his thing.
Still doing his thing
with RSVP.
He ain't signing them, but
he's doing his thing with RSVP.
Oh, true. And Valentino and
the
Pleasure P and
RSVP is managed by
Sammy,
a friend of mine or an acquaintance. I don't know.
Okay,
we friends maybe. If you watch this, you can be like, yo, I thought we was friends. Now
yeah. I don't know.
Maybe an acquaintance because we don't really talk like that. We used to because that was like because I saw her. I'll say her as an entryway into the industry. Matter of fact, that's how I met Mike. Was through.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where the introduction came from. But anyway, that's you got to be careful of your inner circle and what damage your inner circle is going to do and the things that they say.
But what do you do then when it's your doggone sister or your brother? When it's your sibling?
I don't know.
What do you do?
What do you do in that situation? You got to be like, yo, you got to chill, bro. You're going to end up ruining. You're going to end up ruining my opportunities because of your behavior.
Yeah, because I'm kind of wild style. Like I might say some stuff that's what I'm saying, that's out there a little bit, but I have to be careful with that. My sister is a very prominent entertainment lawyer in the industry and well known. So it's like kind of when I elbow smash somebody, she gonna hear about it.
She gonna hear about it.
So
yeah,
I might get cut off. I'm like the Ray J in that scenario.
You gotta be careful.
I'm a little more calculated than Ray J is, but
you gotta be careful of what you do and who you allow in your inner circle, and what you always gotta have a plan for damage control of what is said, who says it. And you got, like Diddy said, you gotta control the narrative.
So you saw that, or did you see? So apparently there was some comments left on a Beyonce fan page that from Brandy's account.
I didn't see this.
Yes. Like from Brandy's Instagram or X account, comments were left on a Beyonce fan page account. And then I guess upon her discovering that those comments were there, she posted on her socials that her accounts had been compromised. They've been hacked.
Always gonna be hacked.
Yeah, and that she was in the process of trying to get
recovery of her account back.
Yes.
Yeah.
But but basically, she left her phone laying around her brother.
Yeah, he probably did.
And he picked up her phone.
He probably did.
And the first Beyonce page he found, he let them have it.
I would not put it past him to do that.
No, I'm sure he did. I'm sure that's why Monica made the point of taking his phone at that show.
You know what? I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but I don't actually care. I don't understand the obsession with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Who gives? I'm gonna say it. And my son about to hear, I don't curse. Who gives a rat ass about Jay-Z and Beyonce? I don't understand why there's such an infatuation with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Are they like the king and queen?
I mean, kind of. Like,
are they like
they may not hit that button for you, but
they do not hit that button for me.
But for example, if Jay-Z and Beyonce went to a Boyz II Men concert and they had a conversation with Drew Hill and didn't speak to Boyz II Men, you'd be like, Boyz II Men is the pinnacle of R&B. Boyz II Men is better than Drew Hill, but so why would they go speak to Drew Hill and not speak to Boyz II Men? And so in essence,
I don't care
you
what Beyonce and Jay-Z,
based on who it is.
I don't care what Jay-Z and Beyonce
does. If they did that to Jodeci, you wouldn't have appreciated it.
They did it.
You'd be upset. If they did that to Boyz II Men and Jodeci, you would have been like, I don't appreciate that. So Ray J was just saying,
I may not appreciate it.
I see a picture of you with Kelly Rowland and Monica, and no picture with Brandy.
But he's doing that because that's his sister.
Show my sister some
Show
love.
My sister. I'm
Give
a
her
fan
flowers.
I'm a fan of Boyz II Men. I have no connection or
but that is
personal
connection
relationship
in itself.
But I have no personal relationship with them to care if Jay-Z and Beyonce go talk to Slim, Sean, aka Sean Stockman,
Yeah, but
like,
it's a
or
connection.
Squirt.
It's a
You know what I'm
connection.
saying?
Because if somebody was like, man, Boys and
AKA
Men is
Kanye.
trash, you'd be like, whoa, hey, whoa.
No. Matter of fact, Alexander Vanderpool, which was Nate.
Yeah, Nate.
Bass, which was Mike.
Yeah.
That's how much of a fan.
Yeah, I remember that.
I had is this the one? Yeah, I had that tape. That's the original album. Yeah.
When Motown Philly album.
Yeah, when they were in the long
I had
coats.
the tape too.
Yeah, the long coats and the canes. Yeah,
yeah.
But anyway, I wouldn't care.
I mean, that was all there was. There wasn't no CDs.
No, I don't understand. And I'm going to leave it at that. I don't understand the infatuation with Jay-Z and Beyonce and why everybody has, I guess I'm going on this rant. Maybe this is because I want to get some viral going out. It's not, but I don't care.
Yeah, but come on, man.
I don't care.
People are, fans is actually an abbreviated
for fanatic.
Yeah, and they exist for many people.
Yeah, but
in many aspects of entertainment.
And that's a whole nother thing for another show. We can do what we got to do.
People feel the same way about.
But why do they always got to be like say something about Beyonce at an award show, or they gotta pay homage to Beyonce at the award show. Like they have to say something, even if she's not in the category, or even if she is in the category, they got to say something. I take this award and I thank Jesus Christ for my award. Beyonce, I love you. Who gives us
because she is the pinnacle right now. People were getting up there saying Michael Jackson, MJ, I love you.
Now that's
Chris Brown,
because that's MJ.
Oh man, come on.
MJ has set.
Perhaps Beyonce is the modern day that equivalent. I'm not saying that she is as good as him. I'm just saying people of this generation don't know Michael Jackson in that way.
No.
They know Taylor Swift and Beyonce.
Here's the other thing. Why y'all hate Chris Brown so much, man?
What is that?
Y'all hate this dude so much. Y'all don't want this dude to be.
How is it that we can deny?
Matter of fact, we need to have like a viral rant moment at the very end of this podcast, bro. So we can rant about stuff that we be pissed off about. Like one, I don't really care about Jay-Z and Beyonce, and I don't understand why y'all so infatuated with these two people. I just don't get it. They have no personal connection to your life or your well-being or anything that happens to do with you. So who cares? Second, why do y'all hate Chris Brown so much, man? Why? I mean, I get that he had an altercation with Rihanna.
Yeah.
There was an abuse thing that happened.
A lot of people love Rihanna.
And a lot of people love Rihanna. Y'all hate Chris? Yeah. Everybody hate Chris? But I mean, who had more allegations, Michael or Chris Brown?
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
You just said something right there. Now, that's a bar in itself. That's a bar in itself. That's a bar in itself.
Who had more
allegations? And what's the severity of the allegations?
Or Michael Jackson?
What kind of relationships was we talking about? We talking about male and female?
Any
we talking about
type of allegations.
Yeah, no, you got a point there too.
Right?
Hey, okay. This other thing, people going saying Michael Jackson had people falling out. Okay, yes,
he did.
That's true. It happened.
But
so you saying Chris Brown got to make somebody faint in order for him to get the superstar status?
Yeah. Matter of fact, one of my homies who I know is gonna probably watch this said the same thing. He's like, I ain't never seen Michael Jackson. Another
Chris Brown make nobody pass out.
Chris Brown make a grown man pass out. Until I see that, he ain't never gonna be greater than Mike.
Come on, guys. The same people that saying this stuff is the same people that know you better than what you do.
But see, here's
they doing the dance and everything.
Y'all
they
doing
like,
the
hey, Michael Jackson. Don't talk like that about Michael Jackson. But you jamming to Chris Brown? No, it's okay to say Mike ran when he ran, and now Chris is running.
Look, I had a dude in the comments when I made that post the other day about Michael Jackson versus Chris Brown. One, people always like, why do black people always got to make a comparison between their superstars, but we never hear white people do that. No, I'm sure they do.
We don't listen to white people's conversations.
But we don't listen to white people's conversations. I'm sure they do.
Cut it out.
I'm sure they make comparisons.
Of course they do.
How come Carrie Underwood ain't better than Shania Twain? Trust me,
it's happening.
Have those 100%. Conversations.
We just don't listen. We don't care.
And they ain't all in the social media like that. But in hip hop,
they might be.
They may be.
Yeah,
but I ain't looking for it.
Yeah,
I ain't checking.
We don't turn to that channel.
I ain't checking for it.
Yeah, that's not on our radar.
So the dude, some dude was like, I don't know any Chris Brown songs. I was like, you a
That's
doggone
a lie.
You a doggone lie.
That's a lie. Unless he is a Quaker and he has never seen a radio.
He's a Mormon.
But the fact that he
not a Mormon,
but he on social media.
Quaker.
A Quaker.
Yeah.
He's on social media. He's heard of Chris Brown.
Yeah, heard of Chris Brown.
And he know that mug. Stop playing.
I ain't never heard of Chris Brown. Chris Brown ain't got no man in the mirror.
You crazy.
He may
he don't have a man in the mirror. That's true.
He ain't got a man in the mirror. But he got some songs he got some songs that are dope. And I keep making a point. And I love Michael Jackson.
Yeah, me too.
Love Michael Jackson. I
love Michael Jackson's music.
I got MJ I got MJ albums over there. I don't got Chris Brown albums over there.
I had a Beat It jacket.
Right? I had a Beat It jacket and a Thriller jacket. Right?
I ain't get the Thriller.
And the glove.
Oh, you had the glove.
I had the glove too.
That's crazy.
Right? Love Michael Jackson. Love his music.
Yeah, me too. It's not like I'm a Michael Jackson hater.
And then we can close this out, ladies and gentlemen. But here's what I'm saying to people. Because they kept in the comments, they kept saying he will never be Michael Jackson. One, he doesn't ever have to be Michael Jackson. Right? He doesn't have to be Michael Jackson.
That's right.
You ever heard of the phrase, the student has now become the teacher?
Yes.
And you can never say that somebody can never be greater than somebody else, because there have been many instances where a student has become the teacher.
Yeah. Not only that, his run is not done. I don't know if you saw my comment that Chris Brown, and I'm doing guesstimation on math, Chris Brown is like 20 years younger than Michael Jackson would be if he were still alive.
That's right.
So let's just say he makes music for another 10 years.
Let's say my man has...
He would only be 40 something.
Let's say my man has an epiphany. And he's like, you know what? I have got to make the best album ever made. And he goes through that same process that Michael Jackson used to make Thriller. Mm-hmm. Same mode, same determination, same energy, same commitment, same everything. And let's say he comes out with music that is either equal to or better than Thriller. Because that's a hard thing to beat. Yeah. Nobody has ever made an album that's probably better than Thriller.
I don't know about that, but yeah, let's go with that.
He said, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that, but let's go with that.
Right? So, what if
his story is not?
But what if it happens?
Yeah, his final chapter has not been written.
See, and that's the thing I don't do. I don't put limitations on things and just say somebody would never be able to do that.
Yeah, that's wild style.
Because he could do that.
Yeah.
Eventually somewhere.
But it's all about perspective. People are going to see what they want to see. They're going to see it how they want to see it. But that don't make it the truth.
That's right. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the rant session here on the Indie Unplugged. Right?
Yeah.
We out, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you once again. Take it easy. We out.